Presentation.
It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, KCAL 9 presents the Dodgers as they take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Tuesday evening to you, wherever you may be. Dodgers and Phils, Game 2 of the three-game series. Philadelphia, having beaten the Dodgers last night, have now beaten them 3 out of 4. Dodgers bowed to a Cy Young winner last night in Roy Halladay, and today the same thing. A three-time All-Star and a Cy Young Award winner in 2008, left-hander Cliff Lee. He's 11-7. He'll go up against the Dodger left-hander Ted Lilly. For Lilly, he's 7-11. Lilly, by the way, 1-5 in his career against Philadelphia. And for Cliff Lee, 1-0 this year, and in his career, that's when he went 7 and shut the Dodgers out in Philadelphia. Tomorrow, a 12-10 game. Vance Worley with a record of 8-1. Chad Billingsley 10-9. But tonight's the night, Josephine, and we'll get to you right after this. 9 is brought to you by Jack in the Box, where you can get anything on the menu any time of the day. And by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Tuesday evening to you, wherever you may be on this gorgeous night in Southern California. Dodger Stadium hosting the Phillies in Game 2 of the series, and it is a special night here, honoring the member of Duke Snider, Edwin Donald Snider, better known as the Duke, member of the Hall of Fame. And here tonight, over 40 members of Duke's family. That's why Beverly in the pink jacket. And the Dodgers put this collage together, including Duke's uniform number with the famous number 4. And that's presented to the family as a keepsake and a memory. His sons and one of 2 daughters throwing the ball out, the ceremonial first pitch. Kurt and Kevin Snider, daughter Donna, and then Pam sitting on the side just cheering. And number 4, it's really indelibly marked in the minds and hearts of those who knew him. And at least for tonight, another celebration in his name and honor at Dodger Stadium. You know, only 2 major leaguers knocked in over 1,000 runs during the 1950s, and they were both Dodgers. First baseman Gil Hodges and Edwin the Duke Snider. So a lovely way to start what should be a lovely evening. If you like this game, you've come to the right place. The Dodgers and the Phillies, and we'll take a look at the Philadelphia lineup with Jimmy Rollins starting off at short, Shane Victorino in center, and Chase Utley at second base. Ryan Howard hits cleanup at first. Hunter Pence, formerly with Houston, in right field. John Mayberry is in left field. Carlos Ruiz, the hard-working catcher. Wilson Valdez plays third, and left-hander Cliff Lee on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, left-hander Ted Lilly, the 35-year-old making his 24th start of the year. He is 7-11, pitched well last time out, allowed just 1 run in 6 innings, and still lost the game in San Diego. Against Philadelphia, he has a record of 1-5 in 7 career starts, and he's 0-1 this year, despite the fact he only gave up 2 runs in 6 innings. So certainly he could spend some time talking to Hiroki Kuroda, and they would certainly welcome each other's company. They've been burned by lack of an offense. For Ted Lilly, he'll be facing Jimmy Rollins, Shane Victorino, and then Chase Utley. Rollins has led off a game in his career 36 times with a home run. So you have to be very careful. He has 13 home runs, 52 runs batted in, and Lilly's first pitch floats low and inside, ball 1. Rollins hitting .263. Jimmy in last night's ball game walked, had a double. And the 1-0 pitch on the way. Lilly works that low again, ball 2. Beautiful summer's evening. The temperature is 70 degrees. Barely a zephyr moving the flags out in center field. Sunset time in Los Angeles. The 2-0 pitch, and that's on the inside corner for a strike, and the count 2-1. Ted Lilly out of nearby Lomita. He has done very well as far as several areas. He has not walked more than 2 in a game for quite some time. Rollins, meanwhile, whacks one down the left field in the corner, and it's going to be in the seats. So Rollins thought it was going to be a home run. Instead, it just hooked foul, and he'll come back and try it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Jimmy almost did what we mentioned. Came close to hitting yet another home run. It just hooked into the corner and then bounced up into the chairs. Final game of the series tomorrow at 12:10. That'll be Vance Worley with a record of 8-1. Chad Billingsley will go up against him. He has a record of 10-9, and that will be on Prime Ticket. And Vance Worley, whom we've never seen, be interested to see him work. He's been a miracle worker. 2-2 pitch on the way. Rollins, a line drive base hit into left field. Over to get the ball is Tony Gwynn. So Jimmy Rollins opens up with a line drive single. And of course now you really have Lilly with a weakness. He has a lot of trouble holding runners. And for Jimmy Rollins, he has stolen 26 out of 32. For Ted Lilly, he has allowed 168 stolen bases. The success ratio against him, the percentage, is 82%. So we'll see if Rollins tries to exploit a weakness as Jimmy takes the lead, held on by Casey Blake. And here is Shane Victorino. Lilly delivers, and the first one a strike, and the count 0-1. Victorino, really a painful sight for the Dodgers. After all, they first signed him. Now he comes back to give them a very bad time almost every time he plays. He's hitting .310, 12 home runs, 41 runs batted in. A throw to first. Rollins takes a walking lead and goes back to the bag. So Ted Lilly has a fight here with Jimmy Rollins while working on Victorino. Jimmy takes the lead. Lilly straightens up and looks over at him. And the strike one pitch is another throw, and this time Rollins has to dive back to the bag. Shane Victorino against the Dodgers in the League Championship Series in 2008 personally drove in 4 runs to beat the Dodgers in the LCS, and he had a lot to do with last night's win. He's way out in front of an off-speed pitch, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Rod Barajas visiting with Victorino for the moment, and the plate umpire going out to the mound, that would be Scott Barrett. So 0-2 the count. Victorino last night doubled in the first inning and scored a run, doubled in the 7th inning and scored a run, homered in the 9th to score yet 3 of the 5 Philadelphia runs. Victorino with Rollins at first, nobody out, no balls and 2 strikes. Lilly again set, checking, still looking at first, now to the plate, and there's a ground ball under the glove of Miles and on through into left field. So just like that, the Phillies come out swinging as a left-hander turns Rollins and Victorino around, and they each come up with base hits. Ground ball single just off the glove of Aaron Miles, and now Chase Utley coming up. Interesting way that Charlie Manuel has his lineup stacked. He has the 2 switch hitters leading off and hitting 2, and then you have the 2 left-hand hitters, Utley and Howard. They don't move out of the lineup against anybody. Utley is hitting .286, and now they're going to rule that ground ball that got off the glove of Miles. That will be ruled as an error. So one way or another, the Phillies have first and second and nobody out, and Utley trying to pick somebody up. The pride of UCLA has 8 home runs, 34 runs batted in. They sorely missed him for a while. Shane Utley means so much to this team. He was a solid fixture for years. In fact, a few years ago he signed a 7-year deal to stay with Philadelphia, and he swings at the first pitch and doesn't get it. 0-1. Utley signed 7 years, so he'll be with Phillies through 2013. Nobody out, first inning, 2 on, and Utley waiting with Howard waiting behind him. Ted Lilly out of his stretch, checking the runners. Gordon to the bag, a throw not in time. Just sliding back under is Jimmy Rollins. One of the things that you have to contend with the Phillies, they are not only a running club, but if they can, they'll steal third. So you have to really keep an eye on Rollins and Victorino. Rollins at 5'8". He has stolen third base 7 times this year. Lilly out of his stretch, a look back. Now ready and deals, and Utley pulls it foul outside of first base down the line. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Welcome to Duke Snider night here at Dodger Stadium. Lilly gave up a base hit to Rollins. Victorino reaches on a hard ground ball ruled error off the glove of Aaron Miles. And number 4 cutting the grass in center field. Nice touch by Eric Hansen and the grounds crew. Lilly again now straightens up. High set up around the collarbone. And the strike 2 pitch to Chase Utley. Ted Reddy delivers, and that's going to be a soft short hopper. Rollins is going to be tagged out. The throw to second is going to be a double play. It was a sinking line drive, and D. Gordon short hopped it to tag Jimmy Rollins, and then just threw over to second base to force Victorino. So Utley winds up hitting into a double play, 6-4. Nice heads-up play by D. Gordon. And, of course, for Rollins on that sinking line drive, he really had nowhere to go.
Number 6, Ryan Howard.
The 6-4 DP. And just like that, 1 minute, 2 on. Next thing in a blink of an eye, 2 out. You have Utley standing at first base, and here is Ryan Howard hitting .252. Lilly out of his stretch. Howard has had some success against him, and the pitch to Ryan is low and away, ball 1. Howard is hitting .294 against Lilly with 5 hits and 2 home runs. Against the league, 24 home runs, 89 runs batted in. Last night he had an infield single and a RBI double. He's way out in front of a pitch. Off speed for Lilly, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count to big Ryan Howard. So 2 out in the first inning. Utley at first base. Chase Utley is another fella, a threat to run. He is 12 for 12 in stolen bases this year. And there he goes on a pitch of the plate. A high throw. He stole that so easily. Lilly just didn't look over, and Chase took off. So he not only has stolen again to make it 13 straight. That means that Utley has now a string of 20 straight without being caught. He beat the throw, and it was offline anyway. So going back to last year and this, he has now stolen 13 this year alone. That is 169 stolen bases against Lilly. And Howard now trying to pick him up. 2-1. Lilly ready. Here he comes, and it's foul back. Trying to sneak a fastball on the outside part of the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Rod Barajas going out to the mound to talk for a moment. And big Ryan Howard waiting at the plate. Howard, a remarkable player. And, of course, Mr. Power all by himself. He was the Rookie of the Year in 2005. He was the MVP in 2006. So he is dynamite. 2-2 the count, trying to pick up Utley. Lilly out of his stretch. Ted delivers. Fastball foul back. The home run record for the Phillies was established in 1980 by Mike Schmidt. He had 48 home runs. Well, it didn't take Howard long to wreck that. In 2006, Ryan Howard had 58 home runs. He has 277 in his career. And it's a little ground ball to first. Blake feeding his pitcher coming over. And thanks to the double play, the Dodgers get out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, an error, a man left, and a stolen base. And at the end of half an inning, Scoreless in the first. Here are the Dodgers coming up. D. Gordon at short, followed by Jamie Carroll at second. Andre Ethier, Matt Kemp, Aaron Miles at third. Casey Blake goes across the diamond to play first. Rod Barajas, the catcher. Tony Gwynn in left field. Ted Lilly on the mound. On the mound for Philadelphia, Cliff Lee, 6'3", 190, 33 years old at the end of this month. He's out of Benton, Arkansas, and he was the Cy Young winner when he was at Cleveland in 2008. He was 22-3 that year, and he bends a pitch in for a strike to start D. Gordon off. So Lee, you could spend quite a while talking about him. The left-hander comes right back with a fastball foul back. That was to eat you up. That was a fastball right in on the hand. He throws that fastball a lot. In fact, a four-seamer and a two-seamer. With the four-seamer, Charlie Manuel says it's the kind of a fastball you say, here, try to hit it. The strike two pitch is looped into left center for a base hit. Over to get it is Victorino. And so on an 0-2 pitch, D. Gordon just puts the bat on the ball and singles to left center field. By the way, the official scorer has thought twice about it on that ball that kicked off the glove of Aaron Miles. They have taken the error away, and they have given Victorino a base hit, and that was a good call. All right, a single by Gordon, and now a Dodger will try to put a little heat on a Philadelphia pitcher instead of the Phillies trying to wear out Lilly and everybody else stealing bases. Lee deals, and the pitch is low to Carroll. 1 ball and no strikes. Cliff Lee has a two-seamer. Charlie Manuel says it's a real pitch for a real pitcher, and it is an angry fastball. So that's been a bread and butter pitch for him. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Lee's pitch is swung on and missed, and the count 1-1. Cliff Lee signed a huge deal with Philadelphia, supposedly 5 years, $120 million, but he turned down a deal from the Yankees that was supposed to be a lot richer than that. 1-1 the count. Lee ready. There goes the runner. The pitch is low. A good throw, but it's late. And so D. Gordon returns the favor. The Phillies like to run. Well, Gordon likes to run too. And for D, he's now stolen 12 out of 15. Not bad for a fella who really doesn't know the pitcher's moves yet. So Gordon stealing second. 2 balls and 1 strike. The count to Jamie Carroll. Dodgers since 2006, as good as the Phillies have been, they've split 38 going head to head. Now the 2-1 pitch. Carroll, good bunt. Lee can't get it. Howard's going to field late, and safely aboard is Carroll, with Gordon going to third. So Jamie Carroll pushes a bunt up along first base, and all of a sudden the heat's on Philadelphia. Carroll executing it perfectly. The left-hander couldn't get it, and Howard threw it. It was a nice bare hand catch by Lee, but it was not in time. So first and third, nobody out, with Ethier, Kemp, and Miles coming up as the Dodgers trying to attack Cliff Lee immediately. Take a look at Andre Ethier and Cliff Lee. Ethier 0 for 6 against the left-hander. Andre hitting .307, 10 home runs, 51 runs batted in. So a no ball, 2-strike base hit to center, a bunt single by Carroll following the stolen base, and the Dodgers would appear to be in business. Lee set, ready, comes with a fastball for a strike. Fastball at 93, and that was the two-seamer. 0-1 the count. In June, Cliff Lee pitched about as well as he can pitch. He had a string of 34 consecutive scoreless innings. Cliff out of a stretch, checking the runners. The strike 1 pitch to Ethier outside, a throw down, and Gordon back on the bag. Carlos Ruiz taking a shot. So D likes to come down the line. We saw that in Arizona. He not only takes a pretty good lead, but he'll come down. And that'll put a little extra pressure on Wilson Valdez, the third baseman. 1-1 pitch is swung on and fouled away. And the count 1-2. So, of course, Cliff Lee would like to strike out Ethier. And for Lee, he has great numbers. Only 32 walks, 167 strikeouts. So Wilson Valdez in to talk to Cliff, who nods in agreement. The one big pitch that he throws, at least he has been throwing it, they say, about 55% of the time when he has two strikes on the hitter, his curveball, they dust off the old expression and call it Uncle Charlie. And they were really using that expression back when Doc Gooden came along. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way, and there's the breaking ball, but it stayed up. So he came back with Uncle Charlie, but he got it a little too high. 2-2 the count. Lee with a record of 11-7. He has Gordon at third, Carroll at first, nobody out. And the 2-2 pitch to Andre Ethier. It swung on and missed, and down he goes. And, of course, that's just what the doctor ordered as Ethier goes down swinging. So 1 out. And the batter now will be Matt Kemp.
Number 27.
Matt Kemp has put up some good numbers against the Phillies. In fact, in his career, Matt Kemp is hitting .344 against Philadelphia pitching. Hitting .317, 26 home runs, 84 runs batted in. Matt last night, if you looked in the box score, was 2 for 5, but it was a very frustrating night for him. He hit out of sync. Lee out of a stretch with 1 out, comes to the hitter and gets a strike. Last night, with 2 on in the first inning, Matt hit into a double play. In the third inning, with 2 on, he popped up. Then he singled twice, opening up innings, and for good measure struck out with a runner on in the 9th inning. So 2 for 5 looked good, but it wasn't. The strike 1 pitch is fouled away. So Matt now 0-2 against left-hander Cliff Lee. Matt Kemp against Lee is 1 for 10. So he was 1 for 6 going into the game against Halladay, and now comes back 1 for 10 against the big left-hander. Aaron Miles hitting behind Kemp. So Matt waiting. Gordon at third, Carroll at first, 1 out. 0-2 the count. Jamie Carroll is 9 for 9 in stolen bases, and the pitch to Kemp fouled away. Just did get a piece, and the count stays 0-2. So Cliff Lee got no balls, 2 strikes on D. Gordon, who promptly singled to center. Then Carroll bunted following a stolen base. For Cliff Lee, he has more no ball, 2 strike counts than any other pitcher in the league. So he was 0-2 on Gordon. He's 0-2 on Kemp. Cliff out of a stretch, checks ready. Here he comes, showing a fastball high at 93. That's the 4-seamer, but it's the 2-seamer that's the bread and butter. Phillies had back-to-back hits in the first inning, only to have Utley hit into a double play, and after he stole second, Ryan Howard grounded out. So the Dodgers coming back, first and third, 1 out, and the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed, and down goes Matt Kemp. So 2 down in the first inning. Well, one thing, when the Dodgers fail with men on base last night and tonight, they're not failing against just pitchers. Don Mattingly's crew went down against the Cy Young winner last night, Roy Halladay. Now they're facing the Cy Young winner, Cliff Lee. So with 2 strikeouts, Lee now has 169 and only 32 walks. Aaron Miles hitting right-handed, and he's done very well against left-handers, hitting .329. Big curveball in there for a strike. That's Uncle Charlie. 0-1 the count. That's a 12-6 curveball. So Gordon down the line from third. Miles looking down to Tim Wallach. Carroll at first, always a threat to run. Lee hands it his sides. No score, first inning. A lot going on. Cliff picks off the sign that he wants. There goes Carroll. The pitch outside, and Ruiz holds on to the ball. So they were afraid of Gordon flying home, and they'll give Carroll the stolen base. So Jamie Carroll is 10 for 10 in stolen bases. But it shows you just the presence of D. Gordon on the baselines. They are not about to even go down to second base. So Miles now 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at second and third. Out of a stretch goes Cliff Lee. Back he comes, fastball, little foul off first. Howard comes over to pick it off. So despite 2 hits and 2 stolen bases, the Dodgers come up empty, and at the end of an inning, no score. Cliff Lee made 20 pitches talking to the pitching coach, Rich Doobie. Dodgers continue to frustrate themselves and their fans. They were 2 for 13 in runners in scoring position last night. Lilly now working on Hunter Pence, and the big right-hand batter swings, doesn't get it. 0-1 the count. Hunter swings at a lot of pitches that aren't even close to the plate, and yet he's a remarkable hitter when you realize he's batting .314. 13 home runs, 69 runs batted in. He takes one outside the zone, 1-1. Pence last night had 2 hits, struck out, and was walked intentionally. 1-1 to the right-hand hitter. Here comes Lilly, and Hunter looks at a strike, and the count 1-2. Hunter Pence, a mainstay for the Houston Astros. 3 years in a row, he hit 25 home runs for them, and he has 13 so far for the Phils. 1-2 the count. Big Texan looks, swings, fouls it back. Still 1-2. For Hunter Pence, he went to school at the University of Texas in Arlington. A big fella, 6'4", 215, 28 years old, so he has a lot of great playing days ahead of him. Hunter back up, constantly moving around, chokes up on the bat, and the 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. He hesitated until he got the call from Scott Barry. So Pence strikes out, 1 away, and the batter will be John Mayberry. Pitch in the dirt, but it didn't go in the dirt until it had already been caught by Barajas, who kind of put the lid on it. So Ted Lilly strikes out the leadoff man, Hunter Pence. And the batter now, John Mayberry. We didn't have a look at John last night. He's hitting .259 with 9 home runs and 31 runs batted in. Right-hand batter bent at the knees and waist out of Missouri, and Lily's first pitch in at the knees. Mayberry's a big man. He is 6'6", checks in at about 230 pounds, 27 years old. He'd be 28 4 days before Christmas, and went to Stanford. The strike one pitch on the way. The big right-hand batter swings, hits a fly ball to right. Ethier comes up to put it away. And we have 2 down, second inning, and no score. So Mayberry heads back to the dugout, and Carlos Ruiz coming up. Ruiz, a wonderful player, a wonderful catcher, and has always found a way to give the Dodgers a bad time. He's from Chiriqui in Panama. In the League Championship Series against the Dodgers in 2008, he hit .313. And in 2009, .385. Right-hand hitting catcher looks at a strike, and the count 0-1. 5'11", 190. We were talking about him last night, working in the coffee fields, carrying crates of tomatoes on his head at 10 years of age. He swings, doesn't get it. He got $3 a day for that hard work, and he would walk with the crates of tomatoes on his head 3/4 of a mile, then run back, get another crate, and just keep doing it. And if that wasn't tough enough, he also worked even hard later on when he got a little older. Fouls it back, and the count 0-2. In the off season, when he wasn't playing ball, he'd get up at 5 in Panama, drive to the farms, and hoist 45-liter tanks of milk onto his stepdad's dairy truck. And he did that until he was 26, mixing cement also on construction sites. Strike 2 pitch is lifted to right field. Ethier is there, waiting, and makes the catch. So Ruiz flies to right. Down go the Phillies, and at the end of an inning and a half, no score. On Duke Snider night, up on the Diamond Vision screen in left field, they had Don Newcomb talking about his friendship and the joy it was to play with the Duke. They showed one tiny clip in the 1955 World Series of Snider making a good catch in center field in Yankee Stadium. It was not the best catch he ever made, and it reminds me, I mentioned to you last week that I was going to talk about the best catch Snider ever made tonight, and that suddenly rang the bell. Meanwhile, Lee gets a pitch to Casey Blake in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Juan Rivera, who was in the collision last night with Utley, unable to play tonight. Bad knee. So Casey Blake is playing first base, and he has a no-ball, 2-strike count. Blake, Barajas, and Gwynn, bottom of the second, no score. Lee works quickly. Curveball, whack to left, on a line, backhanded out there by Mayberry. So the big curveball lined out to left. On the board, it shows 100 miles an hour. No way. Not on a curveball. So with one out, Rod Barajas coming up. They showed a couple of pictures of Nuke and Duke Snider celebrating the 55 World's Championship. Nuke wearing a derby. Where in the world he found the derby, I don't know, but he and Duke are in the shower. Funny hats and just having a ball. The pitch to Barajas in for a strike, and the count 0-1. All the years that I watched Duke Snider play, especially in Brooklyn, I had one strong feeling about it. Here's the strike one pitch, and that's low. I always thought that Duke was like a beautiful eagle in a cage, because Ebbets Field was short, walls, angles, screens all over the place. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lee ready and comes back to Barajas. It's swung on and missed, 1-2. But if you put Duke in the Polo Grounds in New York, if you put him in Yankee Stadium, or if he were alive today and he could play in this spacious outfield, or Colorado, then you would see the eagle soar. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and Barajas swings, and down he goes. Third strikeout for Cliff Lee. And with 2 out, the batter will be Tony Gwynn. The best catch that Duke ever made, and I think if he were here he'd agree, was at Old Shive Park in Philadelphia. It had a wooden wall that went from the left field foul pole to center field, and then maybe a 2-foot high, instead of just a railing, it was a screen to prevent people from reaching over and interfering with the ball in play. Gwynn fouls it back. Bottom of the 9th inning, Dodgers winning by a run. The Phillies had 2 men on base. Clem Labine was the pitcher, and the hitter was a third baseman for Philadelphia with the colorful name of Willie Puddinhead Jones. Meanwhile, Gwynn takes a strike, and Labine spun a curveball, and Willie Jones, to all intents and purposes, hit a 3-run home run to win the game. That is to everybody in the ballpark but Duke Snider. Strike 2 pitch, Gwynn takes low. The Duke on the dead run, because the wall was wooden, he actually ran up the wooden wall. So his upper torso was above the 2-foot screen, and he took the home run away. Gwynn swings, doesn't get it, and so 2 more strikeouts for Cliff Lee. And on his night, that's a catch I will never forget. And at the end of 2, no score. game. Some wonderful youngsters taking in the game with moms and dads on this lovely evening. 70 degrees at the start of the game. For Philadelphia, Wilson Valdez, followed by Cliff Lee, and then Jimmy Rollins. Wilson Valdez is an interesting guy out of the Dominican Republic from Bani. He is 33 years old, 5'11", 165, and much traveled. Originally signed by the Expos in '97. Lilly into the windup, left-hander ready, and Valdez takes high, ball one. When he was growing up in the Dominican, there was a pretty smooth shortstop in the neighborhood they called El Gato, Spanish for the cat. Well, he began playing very well, so he was El Gatito, the kitten. The 1-0 pitch is taken low, ball 2, 2-0. Anyway, after he had been signed by the Expos, as so often happens, they found out he was 2 years older than previously reported. And eventually he came to the Dodgers. The pitch in for a strike. And the Dodgers sent a pitcher to the Royals, acquiring Valdez. But then, much to Wilson Valdez's dismay, the Dodgers sold his contract to the Korean League, to the Kia Tigers. 2-1 pitch to Valdez, and he lines it to center for a base hit. So Valdez with a leadoff single, and the batter will be Cliff Lee.
Batting next pitcher, number 33.
Don't forget Sunday at 1:10 the Astros are here, and the first 15,000 ticketed children 14 and under in attendance receive their own Dodger backpack. Compliments of Sports Authority. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotion. Well, let's see about Cliff Lee when he tries to bunt. Lee is not like Halladay. He has 2 sacrifices. Halladay has 13. Throw to first. Valdez back on the bag. No score in the third. Lee extending his arms as if looking for approval from third base coach Juan Samuel. Lilly a high set. Lee shows bunt. Lilly deals, and the pitch is taken for a strike. 0-1. Juan Samuel. What a terrific guy he was. The night that Fernando Valenzuela turned in his no-hitter here, Valdez was playing second base that night. Here's the strike one pitch on the way. Instead, a throw to first to Casey Blake. Cliff Lee has a home run this year. He hit a home run against Tommy Hanson of the Atlanta Braves, and what an at-bat. It was a 10-pitch at-bat. He's trying to bunt now, and the strike one pitch, he got it down. It's going to be picked up by Barajas to make the play. So maybe not a home run, but he did his job. Cliff Lee drops the bunt down. Valdez goes to second, and now they'll leave it up to Jimmy Rollins and or Victorino. So Cliff Lee getting 5s in the dugout. Phillies have a runner now in scoring position at second base. Rollins singled in the first inning. Jimmy hitting .265, 13 home runs, 52 runs batted in. Ted Lilly peering into Rod Barajas to get the sign. Rollins slender, little, 5'8", maybe 170. Carroll a bluff to the bag just to make Valdez retreat. One out in the third. No score. Ted Lilly and Cliff Lee. Vance Worley and Chad Billingsley tomorrow at 12:10. Lilly a look back at second. Another look. Now to the plate, and Rollins takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Rollins, one of those remarkable hitters. He has walked 49 times, and he has struck out 47. So a guy with 13 home runs has that good a discipline around the plate and with the strike zone. Lilly again sat. Another look back at Valdez. And the strike one pitch, instead Valdez doing a little dancing off the bag, and Lilly whirls and bluffs him back. Again, we told you Rollins has stolen third 7 times, and the Phillies will steal anything that's on the table. Here's the strike one pitch on the way, low and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jimmy Rollins. Rollins' mom played competitive fast pitch softball in the Oakland area, and Jimmy said she taught him everything about how to play the game, and she taught him very well. A shortstop who was an MVP, remarkable player in 2007. A bluff throw to second base. Valdez back. For Philadelphia, let's face it, they're on their way to winning their 5th straight National League East title. They've already won 75 games. A look by Lilly. Now the pitch swung on, flared over the head of Blake and down the line. So here comes Valdez to score. Rollins on his way for 2, and he's in there with a flared double. Just a little blooper over the head of Casey Blake and down the line. For Rollins, he now has 21 doubles, a triple, and 13 home runs. Maddening for Blake, who just could not get back under it. So the pop fly double to right. Rollins is 2 for 2, a run batted in. And they have to watch about him stealing third as Valdez brought the run in. So Jimmy Rollins at second base with 1 out. And Shane Victorino, who singled off the glove of Aaron Miles in the first inning. Shane batting .312, 12 home runs, 41 runs batted in. Out of his stretch goes Lilly. A look back at Rollins. The pitch to Victorino hits him. Well, the last time he got hit in San Francisco, a riot broke out, but it's totally different here. Victorino was hit in San Francisco because with Philadelphia leading by 6, Jimmy Rollins stole second base. So the Giants were ticked off. They had to do something, and they nailed Victorino. There was a fight. The next thing you know, Victorino is suspended for 3 games. But instead of taking the suspension, he wanted to play against his old team. And all he did last night, have a double and a home run. Now he has a single and hit by the pitch. So a couple of rabbits are out there. Victorino is 15 out of 18. Rollins is 26 out of 32. And here comes Utley, who hit that line drive that was short hopped by Gordon, and he tagged Rollins and got the force for the double play. And he takes in the dirt. Nice block and save by Rod Barajas. Ball 1. By the way, with Victorino, hit by the pitch for the 6th time. So Shane at first, the flying Hawaiian, the man from Maui, and Jimmy Rollins at second. D. Gordon directly behind him, and Utley waiting at the plate. Jay's hitting .285, 8 home runs, 34 runs batted in. Pickoff but no throw at second base, but it made Rollins dive back to the bag. Phillies lead 1-0 in the 3rd inning. On deck, Ryan Howard. When Rollins was first scouted and so discovered, he was only 5'4". The scout didn't quite know what to do with him. Too little. The 1-0 pitch. Utley, a comebacker off the glove, deflected to Gordon. They get a force, and that's it. So Lilly had a double play ball to end the inning, but it went off his glove, and Gordon was able to play the carom and get the force on Victorino. So if you're scoring 1-6-4 on that play, Rollins takes third. Utley safe at first. And of course, Lilly still not out of the woods. Utley will always try to steal, which he did in the first inning. And Utley has stolen 13 straight, 21 straight, going back to last year. So no matter where Ted Lilly looks, there's trouble. 1-0 Phil's looking for more with 2 out in the 3rd. Dodgers put up that triangle defense on the right side. Aaron Miles all alone on the left. Howard waiting. Lilly set. Ted delivers. Slow curveball off the plate ball one. Ryan Howard, with 277 home runs in his young career, grounded out in the first inning. He got to 100 quicker than just about anybody else. So he has Rollins at third, Utley at first. The Dodgers would certainly be somewhat the way the Phillies were, in the sense if Utley runs, I don't think Barajas would throw through. Now with Rollins coming down the line. 1-0 the count to Ryan Howard. First and third, 2 out, 1-0 Phil's third inning. Lilly out of a stretch, checks, ready, comes to the plate, fastball swung on and missed, and the count 1-1. For Howard, hitting .251, and for Howard facing Ted Lilly coming into the game, 5 for 17, 2 home runs. Lilly, long look in. Howard waiting. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Up and inside, ball 2. Years ago at Philadelphia's Veterans Stadium, Wilbur Stargell hit one so far in the upper deck that they dedicated the seat to him. They put a star on the seat. It was Wilbur Stargell Star. It was a mammoth home run that he hit, 30 years ago. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way. Howard rolls it foul. Well, not too long ago, Ryan Howard hit one upstairs so far up there that they gave him the seat. They painted a white H on the seat where the ball landed. As Larry Boa described the length of the ball, he said it was a cab ride. That's pretty good. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runners at the corners. 1-0 Philadelphia. Lilly very deliberate, out of his stretch. Howard waiting. There goes Utley, but the pitch is a ground ball to the right side. Gordon is on it to throw him out. So they waited a little longer than we thought they would. I thought they'd run Utley sooner. Gordon makes the play. So 1 run, 2 hits, 2 left, and it's 1-0 Philadelphia. Phillies lead the Dodgers 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the third inning. Cliff Lee's sacrifice set it up, and Jimmy Rollins' double sent the run home, carried in by Wilson Valdez. In the third inning, Ted Lilly will start. Then it's D. Gordon and Jamie Carroll. So Lee ready to go to work. Lilly waits, hitting .081, and the first pitch turns him around inside, ball 1. There are those who might think, whoops, Was that a retaliatory pitch considering Shane Victorino was nailed? The 1-0 pitch on the way, and it's up and in. Ball 2, 2-0. Well, you know what? If you do think the other pitcher is throwing at one of your players, why not throw at the other pitcher? Why pick some innocent outfield? Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fastball in there. 2-1 the count to Ted Lilly. That's one thing about the National League. If you are going to brush any batting, you're going to get brushed back. 2-1 the count to Lilly. Lee comes back. Fastball swung on and missed. 2-2 the count. That fastball at 93. Cliff Lee, you figure he has everything, right? I mean, he just signed a huge contract, 5 years, $120 million, etc. Cy Young Award winner long before that. The pitch is a little roller to third. On it easily to make the play is Wilson Valdez, and we have 1 out. Well, Cliff Lee doesn't have everything, or at least didn't. Back about 2001, he was pitching for the Jupiter Hammerheads in the low minors. And his wife had just delivered a baby about 4 months before. And all of a sudden he got a phone call. The boy, a little baby boy named Jackson, Jaxon, they checked him out and he had leukemia. The pitch to D. Gordon in for a strike. And as Cliff Lee said, it was the worst phone call in his life. Strike 1 pitch on the way. Gordon bunts. High foul back into the stands. And the count 0-2. Well, fortunately, a lot of help. They started out with Jackson after being diagnosed with leukemia. At first they thought it was a urinary tract infection, but then they found what it was. The baby had a 30% chance to survive. Strike 2 pitch fouled away. So they took their son to Arkansas Children's Hospital in Little Rock for chemotherapy. But after 2 treatments, the baby had a setback. Cells formed behind his eye, and they had to stop the chemotherapy. And you can imagine the agony of Cliff and his wife. Little chopper wide at first. Howard hangs it in the foot race, and Cliff Lee won, but bang, bang at first base. Boy, does Gordon shake them all up. So 2 out in the third, and Jamie Carroll will be coming up.
Number 14, Jamie.
Anyway, with Cliff Lee and the baby, after they stopped the chemotherapy, they had to use other ways, radiation, and eventually they had the umbilical cord, stem cell blood transplant procedure, and Jackson beat childhood leukemia. But for Cliff Lee and his wife, it was a life-changing experience, and you can certainly understand that. So he didn't quite have everything, and the pitch now to Jamie Carroll in for a strike. One thing I've always felt, you're inclined after a while, if you go to a lot of ball games, you look at baseball players almost like they're wind-up dolls. You know, they run out, they run back. Strike 1 pitch on the way, high, 1-1. They're all blessed with tremendous athletic ability, many of them with huge physiques. But when you scratch underneath a little bit, they are all very, very human, with nightmares and weaknesses to go along with it. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Jamie, and that's low. 2-1 the count to Carroll. 2 out, third inning. Phillies lead 1-0. Jamie had a bunt for a single. Stole second. Dodgers put some heat on Lee in the first inning. So then he went right back and struck out Ethier, struck out Kemp, and got Miles to foul out. On a roll now, Lee has retired 8 in a row. Carroll waiting, and the 2-1 pitch on the way. Fastball fouled away. Fastball at 93. That's basically his neighborhood. 2-2 the count. 1-0 Philadelphia. Jimmy Rollins doubled in the run. That was the Phillies' 6th extra base hit of the series, and we're just starting game 2. 5 of the 6 extra base hits come from Jimmy Rollins and Shane Victorino. Comebacker by the mound. Down goes Utley to pick it up and throws him out. So Carroll grounds to James Utley. Down go the Dodgers. 9 in a row retired, and it's still 1-0 Philadelphia. Rather have. How about the 1997 Atlanta Braves? You would have Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz, and Nagel. Or this year's Phillies staff, Halladay, Lee, Hamels, and Oswald. Text your answer to 86212. 86212. Which staff would you like to have? Cole Hamels taking in the sights. And the first pitch to Hunter Pence, in for a strike. Hunter struck out in the second inning. 0-1. 0-2. Pence constantly in motion, and it got to where the Astros they just couldn't afford him. They traded Pence only after they had lost 36 of the last 48 games. Boy, he is a free swinger. And looking at his history with the Astros, his high 124 strikeouts, 109, 105. But he is, as the old timers would say, a Bible hitter. Thou shalt not pass. If it's around the plate, he's after it. Yep. Amazing. Strikes out twice and still a heck of a good player. You know, every weekday afternoon game, the Dodgers have offered half-price food and soft drinks and played in 1940s throwback uniforms. Now there are only 2 half-price games remaining. The next half-price game tomorrow at 12:10 with the Phillies. So to secure your tickets, visit Dodgers.com/throwback. That's Vance Worley with a record of 8-1. Chad Billingsley 10-9. So here's John Mayberry, the big boy from Stanford, playing left field, hitting .257, 9 home runs, 31 runs batted in. 0-1. Phillies got the run in the third inning. Valdez single, sacrificed to second. Jimmy Rollins doubled him home, and that's it. And 1. And Mayberry whacks it to center. Back goes Kemp to the track. Makes the catch. Matt Kemp making another brilliant catch. The ball was over his head. I mean, he had to really go to get there and then leaped in the air. Wonderful play. So Matt, who does it all, a 5-tool player, saving Ted Lilly's emotion. And with 2 out, the batter will be Carlos Ruiz. 1-0 Philadelphia in the 4th. The best thing I could say to Matt right about now, the Duke would be happy. Ball 1. Ruiz flied to right field in the 2nd inning. Mayberry sitting alongside Rollins and Shane Victorino. The rookie with the veterans. That's in there. 1-1. Ruiz hitting .264. 4 home runs, 24 runs batted in. And pops it up. Blake looking for help. Here it comes. Jamie Carroll. And he drops it. Wow. You know you're in shock when a big league player does something you can't believe. I think Jamie Carroll might have heard Ethier. Let's take another look. Here comes Andre. There's Jamie calling yes. Ethier stops. Nope, it just popped out of the glove. And Ethier had to go over and get it. I mean, he's all over it. And it happens. Amazing. I remember one night Red Barber was broadcasting. There was a pop fly on the infield. And Red said, Pee Wee Reese, Pee Wee, I'll take all of these I can get. Is under it, and he dropped it. Well, I don't know if Jamie takes them all, but he dropped it. Ruiz at second, and here's Wilson Valdez. 1-0 Phils. Lilly not quite ready. We told you about Valdez and how, much to his dismay, they sold his contract to the Kia Tigers in the Korean League. So he had to take up the family and go the other way. He hits it at Ethier, who makes the catch. Well, the next thing you know, after 4 months in Korea, they send Valdez to the Yakult Swallows. And Ethier and Carroll swallow. Kemp does too, and it's 1-0 Phils. Brought to you by Carl's Jr. $6 burgers made with 100% Black Angus beef. Bottom of the 4th inning, 1-0 Philadelphia. The Dodgers will have Ethier, Kemp, and Miles. And Cliff Lee leading 1-0, about ready to go to work. By the way, remember earlier this year, Andre Ethier had a 30-game hitting streak? Well, tonight, Dan Uggla had an infield single, and his streak has now reached 30 games. It was in the 5th inning at Florida. Second night in a row for Uggla that an infield single extended the streak. What was interesting, when Uggla started the streak on July the 5th, he was hitting 173. That's a strike. So in Major League history, of all the 30-game or more hitting streaks, no one that we can dig out ever started a streak like that, hitting 173. 0-2. So Uggla and Ethier each now with 30-game hitting streak. Andre struck out in the 1st inning. Bad swing, completely fooled. For Ethier, he is 0 for 8 against Lee with 3 strikeouts. Just had no chance on that pitch. That will be the 5th strikeout for Cliff Lee. So that gives him 172 strikeouts and 32 walks. And here's Matt Kemp. Fastball missed. In talking about the staff that the Phillies have, Halladay averages more than 7 strikeouts for any walk he gives up. Cliff Lee averages a little more than 5 strikeouts for every walk that he gives. Roy Halladay, who picked up a 15th victory last night. And then Cole Hamels, another member of the great staff, he averages almost 5 strikeouts for every walk. So Hamels not be seen in this series. Kemp fouling one down the line. Still 1-2 the count. And Matt, let's see, is he heading? I thought so. He cracked the bat. Didn't break it, but you could hear that familiar twang if you were a bad hitter. So Matt will have to get another one and timeout. 1-2 to count. The last time that Cliff Lee pitched against the Dodgers was in June, and he allowed back-to-back singles to start the game. Then he got a double play, struck out Kemp to end the threat, and did not allow a base runner past second base over 7 innings. In that game, he made 117 pitches, 80 of them were strikes. So here he comes, 1-2. And that fouled away. Matt making that brilliant play on that ball hit by Mayberry. 1-2. 1 run, 4 hits for the Phils. No runs, 2 hits, and an error for the Dodgers. Just missed with that fastball. Kind of cocked his head, didn't say anything to Scott Barry, the plate umpire. Scott's only been in the big leagues umpiring for 2 years. He's out of Michigan. Two and 2. And fouled away. So Kemp giving it a battle. Struck out in the 1st inning. He is 1 for 11 against Lee. Cliff has made 54 pitches. Got him. Outside corner at the knees. Strikeout number 6 for Cliff Lee. You know, the Coca-Cola Value Pack is available for select Wednesday and Sunday home games. 4 tickets, 4 Dodger dogs, 4 Cokes, and for all applicable games in August, you'll also receive a Clayton Kershaw bobblehead with every ticket, all starting at $20 per seat. So for more information, go to Dodgers.com/specials. And a strike to Aaron Miles. Well, look out now. The big guy's on a roll. 11 in a row retired by Cliff Lee. Now he has Miles 0-2. So this is a little similar to the game he pitched in Philadelphia in June. He gave up 2 hits in the first inning back-to-back tonight to Gordon and a bunt single by Carroll. And then he settled in to do business, and he's gotten 11 in a row. The boy from Benton, Cliff Lee. Ground ball to Howard. Ryan will hang it for his man coming over. So another easy inning for Cliff Lee. And at the end of 4, Phillies 1, Dodgers nothing.
Winning combination is 143081. Enter now on kcal9.com/clubhouse combo. Brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
1-0 in favor of Philadelphia. We go to the 5th inning. Cliff Lee, Jimmy Rollins, and Shane Victorino. Ted Lilly has allowed 4 hits and 1 run. Cliff Lee has allowed the first 2 hits to the first 2 men and then nothing else after that. And a strike. 0-1. To repeat that home run against Tommy Hanson of Atlanta. And it was a 10-pitch at bat, and he hit the 10th one out. Cliff might say it's not a superstition, but yet it's something he always does. When he goes to the mound or when he goes to the dugout from the mound, he will always jump over the line, depending upon whether he's heading over the first base line or the third base line, home or road. They asked Cliff about doing that, and he said, I never step on lines and cracks and stuff. It's weird because it's not like I'm superstitious or anything. Well, yeah, that is weird. 1-2. Down he goes. I don't know if you were a little kid, did you do what we did? We used to purposely step on the cracks or step on lines to break the devil's dishes. Now, don't ask me where, but that's what we did. We stepped on the cracks and lines. For Ted Lilly, his second strikeout, 1 away, and here's Jimmy Rollins, singled and doubled. Slow freight high, 1 ball and no strikes to Jimmy. a shortstop who was the MVP. There have been some great names, and Jimmy's name is right there. That's right. Marty Marion, Ernie Banks, Maury Wills, Barry Larkin, Jimmy Rollins. Foul ball. Rollins always runs on the base paths, and a couple of years ago he had 47 stolen bases. And we were talking about Andre Ethier and Dan Ugla with 30-game streaks. He had a 38-game hitting streak back in 2005. 1-2. Just missed. And we were talking about Utley stealing so many in a row. Well, back in 2001, Jimmy Rollins stole 35 straight without being nailed. 2-2. Just missed, trying to hit that little corner with a slider. 3-2. When Rollins was scouted and the scout sent the report in, he said Rollins was 5'9", and he was really only 5'6". And ball 4, so look out. Well, even that was a fib. Fully grown, he's 5'8". You're going to hit the road, you can take the Dodgers with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today. See every Dodger game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Dodgers.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Well, here's Shane Victorino coming up. Singled off the glove of Aaron Miles in the first inning and was hit by a pitch in the third. Batting .312. 12 home runs, 41 runs batted in. Victorino originally signed by the Dodgers out of St. Anthony's High School in Hawaii. He was a track star, and so was Jimmy Rollins over there at first with 1 out. For Ted Lilly, he has given up 169 stolen bases in his career. Given up 1 tonight to Utley in the first inning. That's off the plate. Ball 1. Shane Victorino, when he was in high school, ran the 100 meters, they tell me, in 10.6 to win the Hawaii State Championship. For good measure, he then ran the 200 and won that as well. He's only 5'9" and about 180. So with all the big guys around, people like Howard and Mayberry and Pence, you have one who's 5'8" and the other's 5'9", and they will just chase you to the poorhouse. Rollins and Victorino. Fastball whacked down the line, going foul. Victorino with 12 home runs, 41 runs batted in. In the Dodger organization, he got as far as Vero Beach. Two and 1 the count. And popped up. Foul ground, Aaron Miles. The Victorino fouls out. 2 out. Now Rollins really becomes a threat as Chase Utley comes up. Sam Peloso, coaching over at first, over to say something to Rollins. Jimmy has stolen 26 and been caught 6 times. Utley hit a sinking line drive that was short hopped by Gordon who tagged out Rollins and then flipped to his second baseman Utley to get a double play on Victorino. And that's going to go foul in a hurry upstairs. 0-1. And a Phillies fan caught it. Oh, outstanding. And barehanded. Yeah, fives all around. Nice seeing the Dodger fan get up and give him the high five as well. 0-1 to Chase Utley. That's off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. We mentioned Rollins had a streak in 2006. Chase Utley hit safely in 35 straight. One and one. Fastball popped up. Carroll going out. Coming in is Kemp. It will be Kemp. So no runs, no hits, a walk and a man left, and at the end of 4.5 innings, 1-0 Philadelphia. Of the Los Angeles Dodgers, 76. We're on the driver's side. We're going to the bottom of the 5th inning. When you match up the starters, the big difference is the fact that Cliff Lee has retired the last 12 in a row. Ted Lilly has had a man on in every inning except the 2nd inning. But when it gets down to it, the difference is just 1-0. And we got a long way to go. So Ted sitting back, having made 73 pitches, now watching Lee work on Casey Blake. Strike. Casey Blake lined out to left fielder John Mayberry. And another strike, 0-2. There's that 0-2 count that we were talking about. Gordon singled on an 0-2 pitch. And he doesn't usually get burned 0-2. Tell you in a moment why. Shot up the middle 0-2. Backhanded by Utley, but the throw offline. And Blake safely aboard. So that's going to be a base hit. Up until that base hit on an 0-2 pitch, the hitters were hitting .096 against Cliff Lee. They were 9 for 94, and he had 50 strikeouts. So it is somewhat shocking to him, I'm sure, and to his teammates. He gives up a base hit, 0-2. As we mentioned at the start of the game, he gets more 0-2 counts than anyone else in the National League. So here's Barajas, struck out in the second inning. Ball one. And if you've been following the Dodgers, you know that basically Rod Barajas is a fly ball hitter. One ball and no strikes. Rod 10 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Barajas checking again. Tim Wallach. Because he is such a fly ball hitter, Rod, big veteran catcher, has only grounded into 2 double plays. One ball and one strike. Ball 2. That fastball really sailed. And it was at 93. His pitch count, he's now up to 64 pitches. So after retiring 12 in a row, Blake gets a base hit, 0-2. 1-0 Philadelphia, bottom of the 5th. And there's a fly ball, all right. A monster, but going foul. Second level. Boy, he is big and strong. Rod Barajas. Barajas at 6'2" and 230. 2-2. And ball 3. Seeing a ball go down the line like that brings back memories of a monster home run hit in the World Series here in 1963 by Frank Howard. I think it was against Whitey Ford. And wound up fair halfway up the second deck down in left field. 3-2. Blake does not go, and Barajas strikes out for the second time. And that would be 7 strikeouts for Big Cliff Lee. Let's check and see what's on the menu for the Dodgers. Tomorrow at 12:10, and then the Astros Friday and Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. All 4 games on prime tickets. Worley and Billingsley tomorrow, and then it's Norris and Evaldi, Rodriguez and Kershaw, Jordan and Lyle. He'll go up against Kuroda. Tony Gwynn struck out in the second inning. Ball 1. Lee back in May against Atlanta struck out 16. That's his career high. 7 tonight. That's a strike. 1-1 to Tony, hitting .254. Dodgers without the services of Juan Rivera after the collision with Chase Utley. They said Rivera could pinch hit, but he has a bad right knee. 1-1. Fastball on the hands at 92. Tony was locked. Couldn't get the hips out of the way to handle it. 1-2. Lee has made 70 pitches now. One ball and 2 strikes. Same spot. This time Tony got a little bit of it. 94, so that's the high for Lee so far. You wonder how they can ever handle a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, especially on the inside of the plate. How they can ever get around. and he had a good look and pays the price. So for Gwynn, he strikes out a second time. 8 strikeouts for Cliff Lee. He just drilled the zone. The lead now working on Ted Lilly, who grounded out in the 3rd inning. Answering that question about how do they ever get around on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball on the inside part of the plate to the hitter, Ted Williams' first answer was, the first thing you have to do is get your front hip out of there. So if you're a left-hand batter, you get that right hip out, and vice versa on the other side. Big ground ball to the hole. There's Utley. And there's the 3rd out. So no runs, a leadoff hitter shockingly on a no-ball 2-strike count. And at the end of 5, 1-0 Philadelphia. But when you talk about base stealers of late, how about Davey Lopes? You know, he had a 3-year period where he was only caught 4 times in 3 years. And what's really amazing, when Davey Lopes was 40 years old, he stole 47 out of 51. So keep that in mind when you're watching Rollins and Utley and Gordon, etc. And with that, let's get back to a good one. Still 1-0 in favor of Philadelphia. Davey Lopes has had a great deal to do with Philadelphia's past successes, and he moved back to his old club, the Dodgers, and there you have Matt Kemp having stolen 29 out of 34. Here's Ryan Howard. Howard batting .251. 24 home runs, 89 runs batted in. No balls, 1 strike. 0-2. Howard, by the way, ranks 2nd or 3rd in the league of swinging and missing at strikes, about 25% of the time. But if he makes contact, 24 home runs. 0-2. 1-2. Frank Howard, who has 200, Ryan Howard, who has 277 home runs, got to 100 faster than any player in big league history. He passed Ralph Kiner, for instance, by 60 games. 2-2. Big man is 6'4", about 255. always extends that bat and right arm. And fouled away. Ryan Howard, with all of his RBIs, he's had as many as 149, 146. He's hit as many home runs as 58. 2-2. Slow curveball got him looking. That thing came up there at 74 miles an hour. Ryan saying no, it was outside. Not to the plate umpire Scott Barry. Take a look. Up there. See you later. So one away in the sixth. Now Hunter Pence, who has struck out twice. Now that pitch was up around his eyes. I'm amazed just watching the two games. He has swung at more pitches out of the strike zone. And if you didn't know better, you'd say, wow, this guy can't hit at all. Well, he's batting .312. Grounds that one hard under the glove of Jamie Carroll. Pence falls down, rounding first, but he's back to the bag. I tell you, he's worth watching. It just seems like Pence is doing something all the time, and he'll get himself a base hit, even though he did take a header. Just under the glove. Frustrated Jimmy Carroll. Now watch when he hits the bag. He hits the bag. Same thing happened to Matt Kemp last night. And if kids are watching, when you're running to the base, you try to hit the inside of the base, not the top of the base. And you can see once your foot hits the top of the bag, you have a tendency to slip. So here's Mayberry. Almost hit one over Kemp's head for an extra base hit, and Matt made a fine play. 0-1. Phillies have 1 run on 5 hits. Dodgers have no runs on 3 hits. Hunter Pence has stolen 7 out of 8. And a comebacker, but very slowly. So 1-3. Pence advances to second, and that'll bring up Carlos Ruiz, the catcher. Flied to right, and then shocked everybody in the ballpark when he hit that high pop fly to shallow right. Jamie Carroll went out, called, settled under it, and then dropped it. So 2 out. Ruiz followed by Wilson Valdez. Ball 1. Ruiz 5'11", a very solid 190. 32 years old. Pence at second with 1 out. Ball 2. Valdez, the right-hand hitter on deck, has singled, scored a run, and flied to right. Ruiz in the past 4 hits and a home run against Lilly. Strike outside corner. 2-1. bad ball. Ruiz went after it. Pays the price, and they leave Pence at second. Ruiz going after a pitch up and away out of the strike zone. No runs, a hit, a man left, and at the end of 5 1/2, 1-0 Philadelphia. Sports Authority, the official sporting goods retailer of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and by your Southern California Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a luxurious Lexus today. Visit Lexus.com. 1-0 Philadelphia for the Dodgers coming up in the bottom of the 6th inning after Lilly turned in a good 14-pitch 6th inning. It'll be Gordon, Carroll, and Ethier. Tell you how tough Cliff Lee has been. He's had one 3-ball count. He's missed the strike zone in 5 innings only 19 times. And a drag bunt. Howard dives and got him. And I'm sure for the Dodgers to see D. Gordon dive and hit the ground, they were holding their collective breath. Actually, doesn't Gordon look like he fell out of Howard's pocket? I mean, there's a 255-pounder and a 150-pounder flying by. Laz Diaz making the call. Thank goodness there wasn't a collision. So Gordon is a spectacular young player with that great speed, but Howard makes a very good play. 1 out in the 6th. Jamie Carroll coming up. Ball 1. They're in the 7th inning. Diamondbacks leading the Astros 9-8. Justin Upton has knocked in 4. Miguel Montero has driven in 3. Those 7 RBIs from the numbers 3 and 4 hitters, and the D-backs holding on 9-8. The Giants are leading the Pirates 3-0 in the 7th. Madison Bumgarner against former Dodger James McDonald. Aubrey Huff has a home run and an RBI double. We have 1 out, bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Philadelphia. In there, 2-1. The only run, Wilson Valdez single to center. Lee sacrificed into second. Jimmy Rollins double to right, scoring Valdez, and that's it. Fouled away. 2-2. This is the 5th game between these two. Philadelphia has won 3 out of 4. Mattingly hoping that somebody will start to ignite a rally here. At one stage, after giving up 2 hits in the 1st inning, Lee retired 12 in a row. Then Blake singled on an 0-2 pitch in the 5th inning, and he's retired 4 more in a row. That base hit by Blake, rather historic. It came on an 0-2 count. 2-2 the count. Did Jamie Carroll. He had a bunt single and grounded out. Pulled the other way. Carroll batting .296. Hitting back of him, Andre Ethier. Cliff Lee, 11-7, and he has 5 shutouts already this year. And that's going to be a base hit to right field. So Jamie goes 2 for 3 with a single to right. And that'll bring up Andre Ethier. Dodgers 4 the hit. Andre Ethier struck out in the 1st inning and struck out again in the 4th. So Ethier is 0 for 8 and struck out 3 times against Cliff Lee. Ball 1. 1 run, 5 hits for the Phils. No runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. Cliff Lee and Ted Lilly. And fouled away. Talking about Lee, who has 5 shutouts already this year. He threw 3 consecutive shutouts last year. The last Phillies pitcher to do that is in the Hall of Fame, the great Robin Roberts, back in 1950. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a little roller. Utley shovels to Howard. Nice play for Chase. 2 down. Tying run is now at second base, and the batter will be Matt Kemp. So Utley couldn't transfer the ball. Charlie Manuel, who played for the Dodgers a little while back in 1974, 1975, doing a tremendous job as the skipper of the Phillies. We mentioned it last night. Charlie was born in a car on his way to his grandmother's house in West Virginia. He's the fatherly type. He comes from a large family. And one of his kids by the name of Cliff Lee is out there on the mound. So is Matt Kemp at the plate. He has struck out twice. In the dirt. Nice block by Ruiz. So for Lee, he has 8 strikeouts, and half of them are with Ethier and Kemp. You wonder about Lee making an intentional walk with first base open? Forget it. He has not given up an intentional pass this year. One and one. Doesn't mean there'll be the so-called unintentional intentional where you go out there and you're just thinking, I'm not going to throw a strike. But Lee going after Kemp on a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Showing him a fastball at 93, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Lee struck out 2 in the 1st inning, 2 in the 2nd inning, 2 in the 4th, and 2 more in the 5th. Ball 3, Aaron Miles on deck. So again, you wonder the mindset of Cliff Lee. Is he really out there saying, I'm not going to give him a ball to hit? 3-1, and you know, in a 1-0 game, Mattingly will green light Kemp if it's anywhere around the plate. Three and two. So there's no doubt about it. There'd be a lot of pitchers and a lot of managers who would just make sure Kemp would be walked, even though you're putting a possible go-ahead run on base, especially because it's only the 6th inning. But Lee is going after him, and I'm sure that's exactly what Matt Kemp wants. 3-2. Carroll at second with 2 out. And a mile-high foul ball. Ryan Howard. So Matt Kemp fouls out. The Dodgers leave Carroll. And at the end of 6, and that was quite a confrontation, Phillies 1, Dodgers nothing. Remember the question, which team's top 4 starters would you rather have? The 97 Braves, Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz, and Nagel, or the 2011 Philadelphia Phillies, Halladay, Lee, Hamels, and Oswalt? Well, the early returns, 57% say they'd go with the 2011 Phillies. Remember, text your answer to 86212 on your cell phone and take your pick. You can hardly go wrong. Meanwhile, Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels resting comfortably in the Philadelphia dugout, though Hamels takes the whole game standing up. Wilson Valdez starting it off. And ball 1. Valdez hitting .238, 16 runs batted in. Little cracked bat. Gordon on the money to Casey Blake. That's one of the things we've noticed with Pete Gordon. He has been so accurate in throws to first base. And obviously that right shoulder is okay, although watching him kind of pinwheel the arm, it might be a little sore, I would guess. So here's Lee, sacrifice struck out, 0 for 1, batting .212. When the Dodgers come up, in the bottom of this 7th inning. They'll have Miles, Blake, and Barajas against Lee. If anybody gets on, Tony Gwynn. Lee would have to face Lilly as the number 5 batter in the inning. Ted going 2-0. He walked Rollins in the 5th inning. Otherwise, he's been throwing strikes. And a high fly ball to deep right field. Back goes Ethier, who has hit his 2nd home run of the year. Cliff Lee. And it's 2-0 Philadelphia. For Lilly, the 25th home run that he has given up. So the home run against Tommy Hanson was his first career home run. That was the 9th of July, and now, my gosh, he hits number 2 into the pavilion in right field. He got a fastball, and he knew what to do with it. Big stride, big swing. Ethier just had to watch it go back in. So 2-0 Philadelphia. And ball 1 to Jimmy Rollins. Lee getting 5s from his teammates. Laughs from Hunter Pence. Fouled away. So 25 home runs Ted Lilly has given up. Ted has allowed 283 home runs in his career. There are 3 other more active pitchers giving up home runs. Tim Wakefield, 409. Javier Vasquez, 368. Livan Hernandez, 343. And now Ted Lilly, 283. 2-0 Phils. 7th inning. Rollins 2 for 2, single, double, and a walk. Foul back. No, it was missed. Ball is live. Rollins is out. Five strikeouts for Ted Lilly. And with 2 out, the batter, Shane Victorino. It's hard to believe that the crowd boos Victorino. I mean, they're entitled to do whatever they want. All he did was get hit by a pitch. He was the victim. Can't believe there are Giant fans here booing him from what took place up at AT&T Park. Ball 1. It is Duke Snider bobblehead night. We talked about it last night. The fact that they had a Shane Victorino bobblehead doll a few years ago, and the doll of Victorino was in a grass skirt, kind of giving the hulu, and several were given to Liberty cab drivers to place on their dashboards so riders could watch the bobblehead. That was a different one. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a fly ball, very playable. Tony Gwynn. However, the fly ball that Cliff Lee hit was certainly not playable. It reached the right field pavilion, and at the end of 6.5, Phillies lead 2-0. Now we'll have God Bless America and Take Me Out to the Ball.
Please rise and join in the singing of God Bless America, accompanied by Nancy B. and performed tonight by longtime Dodger usher Howie Levine.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Phillies home run, leading the Dodgers 2-0. The report circulating the press box tonight is that when the Philadelphia Phillies bus arrived at Dodger Stadium, as the players were getting off, Cliff Lee said, and players make all kinds of wild remarks, but Cliff Lee got off the bus and said, "I'm going to hit one out of the stadium tonight." Well, he didn't do that, but he certainly reached the pavilion in right and has an extra run to lean on as he faces Miles, Blake, and Barajas. Miles fouling it away. Fouled out to Howard in the first inning. Grounded out to Howard in the fourth. 0-1 to count. Miles hitting .295, but he's done some very good work against left-handers. He started the night batting .329. Pops up, foul ground. Ryan Howard makes the play. That's always a tough play for the visitor. You think of the Music Man, you got to know the territory. And Howard had to take his eye off that ball several times before he realized he still had enough room to make the play. So he did that very well. You've got to know the territory. Well, here's Casey Blake, lined out to left, and then Raris DeBrere on a no-ball, two-strike count, got a base hit in the fifth inning. That's a strike. 0-1. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Scott Elbert begins to tune up. And a drive into center, but it's playable. Victorino is there. The two out in the seventh inning. Dodgers using Lilly and bringing up another left-hander ready. As far as Philadelphia is concerned, against left-hand starters, they are 21-9. So Ted Lilly kind of walked into a lion's den and he pitched terrific ball. He made 99 pitches, and it was 1-0 until Lee hit it out to make it 2-0. Rod Barajas struck out twice. Lee has struck out 8. Fouled away. 0-1. When the Dodgers failed to score in the first inning, Gordon had singled, Carroll bunted for a base hit. They were 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Last night they were 2 for 13. So they haven't exactly solved the problem. They just haven't gotten very many people in scoring position. They did get Jamie Carroll to second base in the 6th. But people like Ethier and Kemp have been shut down. They have each struck out twice. Ethier going 0 for 3, also grounded out, and Kemp going 0 for 3, fouled out. So some unhappy big hitters have been shut down thus far. 1-2. Fastball. That was 93. Lee all night. Right there, 93-94. Needless to say, Cliff Lee is a young, hard thrower, a fan of Nolan Ryan. Another foul ball. You know, last year he played for the Mariners and the Rangers. And if you put all of his numbers together last year, he had 195 strikeouts and 18 walks. I mean, that is too big for the room. 1-2. Just missed. The American League Cy Young Award winner of 2008. He really cleaned the table that year. Ball 3. He was the comeback player of the year in the American League. He's the American League pitcher of the year. He was the American League's outstanding pitcher in the Players' Choice Awards, and then for good measure, the Cy Young Award winner. In March of 2009, he went up in an F-16 Fighting Falcon for about an hour. Ball 4. The Barajas, a 2-out walk. And to dust off an old line, Cliff Lee gives up a walk as easily as you would give up a tattoo. Well, he gives up strike 1 walk to 8 strikeouts. And the batter is Tony Gwynn, who has struck out twice. Juan Rivera, bad knee and all, is on deck, and that's a strike. Rivera had a sore right knee. A few years ago, he broke his left leg. Tied him up, and another strike. So Ted Lilly looks like he's going out for a hitter if Gwynn can extend the inning. Let's see how many more times Lee is going to come inside on Gwynn. He's been there all night. He goes away. What a job. That's surgery, baseball style. He strikes out Gwynn 3 times. He has 9 strikeouts, and he leads 2-0. We have reached the 8th inning on a beautiful summer's night. Philadelphia leading the Dodgers 2-0, and the heart of their lineup will be coming up, and to be the last go-round for Ted Lilly. Meanwhile, Cliff Lee, with 9 strikeouts and just 1 walk, is leading 2-0. Lilly will be facing Utley, Howard, and then Pence. 6 hits to 4 hits, but 2 runs to zip. Only 2 walks in the game, 1 for each team. So here's Utley, hit into a double play, hit into a force play, and fly to center. Hitting .282 with 8 home runs, 34 runs batted in. That's a strike. Lilly has allowed 2 runs, 6 hits. Struck out 5, walked 1. One and one. Little chopper wide of first is Blake, feeding Lilly coming over. 1 away. Ryan Howard will be coming up.
First baseman Ryan Howard.
From up here, looking down, we can't see the rubber. Always like to see. Yeah, it's just about obscured. I can remember years ago, if you had a rubber like that where you really couldn't see it, pitchers would try to cheat. Maybe 1 pitch on a 2-strike count, get the ball and fire, maybe close to a foot in front of the rubber. We mentioned that Ryan Howard was the quickest to reach 100 runs. It's a fly ball. Matt Kemp will take care of it. Howard was also the fastest player in Major League history to reach 250 home runs. Ralph Kiner did it in 871 games. Ryan Howard did it in 855. So now here comes Hunter Pence. He has struck out twice, single to right. Got as far as second base in the 6th inning. Fastball and a high fly ball. Back goes Gwynn on the grass, still on the grass. Down they go in order, so Lilly finishes up his work, retiring the side in order. He leaves trailing 2-0. by your Southern California Toyota dealers. And by Carl's Jr. $6 burgers, made with 100% Black Angus beef. Bottom of the 8th inning with Philadelphia's Cliff Lee leading the Dodgers 2-0, and I mean he is leading them. Number one, he has a home run. Number two, he's been absolutely masterful. He has had 10 no-ball 2-strike counts. He has had only 3 3-ball counts, and he has walked 1. The only walk against Barajas, who oddly enough has walked only 13 times all year. Eugenio Velez, switch hitter at the plate, 0-1. For Ted Lilly, he made only 6 pitches in the 8th inning, wound up making 105. Velez trying to help get him some runs. Velez is 0 for 19. 0 for 12 left, 0 for 7 right. 1 ball and 1 strike. Eugenio from the Dominican. Ball 2. Long and lean. He is 6'1" and maybe 160 pounds. 2-1. Fouled away. 2-2. Cliff Lee's pitch count now 110. For Velez to come off the bench and go all the way with Lee right there is a winning battle, because only 5 Dodger hitters have had an at-bat that took more than 5 pitches. Kemp twice, Carroll once, Barajas twice. 3-2. And he walked him. So Velez 0 for 19 gets the walk. Could be a little fatigue factor now. And D. Gordon is coming up, and Charlie's working on the gum. Gordon singled to center on an 0-2 pitch and then grounded out twice. And he bunts foul. 0-1. In the bullpens, the Dodgers have Blake Hawksworth in their pen, and the Phillies have their closer Ryan Madsen and the left-hander Antonio Bastardo. Oh, 0-1 to Gordon. Then on deck, Jamie Carroll. Valdez has to play in on the grass. Oh, 0-2. Is he all right? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that right shoulder. Remember, we were watching him in the field and his shoulder was hurting? Big swing, and he just let the bat drop. Absolutely hurting. I don't know if he can continue. Thank goodness when we were in Arizona and he got hurt in that diving tag on Kelly Johnson, they said there was no dislocation, just a sore shoulder, but it has flared. When Valdez grounded out to him in the top of the inning, remember, he threw to first and then he was obviously uncomfortable, but now he's hurting. He can't move that right arm. Here's the way it happened originally in Arizona. There's Kelly Johnson looking back, and somebody's going to catch up. However, he fell hard, rolled over, and landed on that right shoulder. The first thing we noticed when Gordon was leaving And then when he came back, he did not have his arm in a sling, so you knew he didn't suffer any dislocation. But now you know he's hurting. So Trent Olsen is coming out. And not only, here you are, Trent Olsen. You're a rookie. You're from Australia, right? And you don't play very often. Occasionally you get a pinch hitting job, or you're used as a pinch runner. And now they say, you, go on up and get a hit. You have a Cy Young Award winner on the mound, and you're inheriting a no-ball, two-strike count. That's a nice job. But this kid will smile through it anyway. So Trent Olsen. No ball, two-strike count. 11 Dodger hitters have been in the hole 0-2 against Lee. Well, he made contact on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. This is quite a challenge. Trent hitting .231. Good eye, Mike. It's time to go up and hit against a Cy Young Award winner. 1-2. 2-0 in favor of Philadelphia. Eugenio Velez at first base. Nobody out. Cliff Lee has now made 116 pitches. A little low. 2-2. So he went 3-2 and walked Velez. Now he's on the edge. 2-2. His season high and his career high of pitches in a game, 126. And he has now made 117. And a hopper to short. They're going to get one. They're going to get two. And just like that, 2 down. So when Gordon went out, it was asking for a miracle. And Olsen bangs into the twin killing, and Jamie Carroll will be coming up. For the Dodgers, of course, all they can do is hope that Gordon is in temporary pain and will be okay and ready to come back. So here's Jamie. Had a bunt single, grounded out, and single to right. Fastball. Still throwing 92. Jamie, as always, well, not always, but almost taking the first pitch. Now he's in a hole. 12th time a Dodger has had an 0-2 count. .121 pitches, 1-2 the count on Jamie Carroll. Lee's a big man. He's 6'3", well put together, 190. Fastball fouled away. Philly scored a run in the third and a run in the seventh. In the third, Valdez singled, rode home on a double by Jimmy Rollins. In the seventh inning with 1 out, Cliff Lee hit a home run. Curveball, but it stayed up. Pitch count is now 123, so he is 3 pitches away from tying his season high and his career high. 2-2. And he does it with a flourish, a high fastball. He was throwing 93 at the end of 8. It remains Phillies 2, Dodgers nothing. Starters, would you rather have the 97 Atlanta Braves with Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz, and Nagel, or this year's Phillies, Halladay, Lee, Hamels, and Oswald? And it's turned around. The final voting, 56% of you said the 97 Atlanta Braves. Well, one thing you could do in having a discussion about it is take a look at the earned run averages of the pitchers. And for Cliff Lee, 124 pitches he's done for the night. The 98 Braves, Maddox earned run average 2.2, Glavine 2.4, Smoltz 2.9, and Nagel 3.5. So collectively, their earned run average 2.7. The Phillies right now, their earned run average 2.8. So as we said, you really can't lose in that one. But a slight majority went for the Braves. Cliff Lee, another magnificent job. He goes 8 innings, 12 hitters. He had no balls and 2 strikes. Wound up making 124 pitches, striking out 10, walking 2, and allowing 4 hits. Really something. So Blake Hawksworth working to big John Mayberry, and a strike, 0-1. The Hawk inheriting the role, and he will go in the leadoff spot in the lineup. Couple of changes for the Dodgers with Gordon going out. Cannell is playing short. Velez playing second base. Eugenio coming off the bench and getting a walk. And then Gordon getting hurt. And the one thing the Dodgers worried about, Olsen inheriting an 0-2 count, get into the double play. John hitting .254, 9 home runs, 31 runs batted in. Ball 1. Mayberry is 6'6", 230. 27 years old. Originally a first-round pick by the Rangers out of Stanford back in 2005. It's taken him a while to really develop. Fouled away. For John Mayberry, while he was at Stanford, only because his mother made sure he went there and accept a scholarship, he was working on his political science degree. One and two. Pass ball fouled away. Meanwhile, Cliff Lee staying right here to watch. Ground ball, fair ball, long throw. Nice pick at the other end by Casey Blake. So a good play all around. And Mayberry grounds out. 1 down. Just fair. That's a long throw, and Aaron's got the arm for it. And a nice play by Casey. 1 down. Carlos Ruiz coming up. The catcher is flied to right. Hit the pop fly that Jamie Carroll dropped, and then grounded out. So Carlos 0 for 3. And a strike. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 9th inning, Andre Ethier, Matt Kemp, and Aaron Miles. That's in there. 0-2. Ruiz batting .262. And chasing that high fastball, Ruiz strikes out and goes 0 for 4. The last 7 in a row have gone down after Cliff Lee's home run. And the batter now, Wilson Valdez, single to center, fly to right, grounded to short. They have the left-hander Bastardo, who could be brought in to pitch to Ethier, and then they have the closer Madsen throwing down there as well. So we'll see. Valdez hitting .237 with 16 runs batted in. Michael Martinez played third last night when 1 for 4. Philadelphia missing a very solid ball player, Placido Polanco. Polanco has a bad hip, and he's back in Philadelphia having it examined. And considering that Polanco has played a long time, he'll be 36. It's somewhat questionable whether he'll be able to come back with a bad hip. The bunt fouled away, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Wilson Valdez. Once upon a time with the Dodgers, not here, under contract, and they sold him to a team in Korea. Off the plate, 1-2. The Dodger hitters due up collectively. Ethier, Kemp, and Miles are 0 for 9, with Ethier having struck out 2 out of 3. Kemp has struck out 2 out of 3, and Miles is 0 for 3. That's the challenge in the ninth. 1-2. Foul ball. Blake Hawksworth, the Hawk, out of North Vancouver, British Columbia. (28 years old). 1-2. 2-2. Tough assignment for the Dodgers to open up a series against Roy Halladay and then come right back looking at Cliff Lee. And that's going to go right to Velez, and that's the inning. So here come the Dodgers last time around with Ethier, Kemp, and Miles, and the Phillies leading 2-0, with the only consolation for them, Lee is out of the game. Ryan Madsen, the big right-hander coming out of the bullpen. And he'll be pitching to Andre Ethier, Matt Kemp, and Aaron Miles. He faced Andre Ethier last night after giving up a single to Casey Blake, and he got Ethier to foul out, and then he struck out Kemp and got Miles to hit back to the box. Ryan is 6'6", 195-pounder, born right here in Long Beach. He lives in Moreno Valley, went to Valley View High School, and a 9th-round pick by the Phils in 1998. Cliff Lee still very animated after turning in a tremendous game. 124 pitches, 4 hits, no runs, and 10 strikeouts. So Ethier 0 for 1 against Madsen in the series. He is just 2 for 14. We have him 1 for 11. But I have him higher than that. 2 for 14. And a broken bat and a base hit. So Andre Ethier will make that trade anytime. You could hear the bat crack as he singles into right center.
27.
Hit number 1 against Madsen, of course. The 5th hit for the Dodgers. And Matt Kemp coming up. Kemp has struck out twice and fouled out. He struck out last night against Madsen. And of course Lee, with a 2-0 lead, now has to sweat out Ryan Madsen. Matt batting .315. And a strike on the corner. Long time ago, it was 2003. Madsen pitched for Team USA. The pitching coach was Dave Stewart. Dave Stewart is the agent or representative of Matt Kemp. And the world goes round and round. 0-1. Ground ball to third. They get one. Utley bounces it away. Andre Ethier breaking up the double play. And Utley trying to get around him and get off the throw and threw it away. So Ethier in a force play, but he kept the inning alive. You can see Utley leaping high. He wanted to make sure he didn't kick Ethier in the head. Right there with his knee. Juan Rivera is coming out of the Dodger dugout. So Utley had Rivera crash into him last night and get hurt. Now Ethier crashes into him, but he's okay. But the Dodgers give him 5s for breaking up the double play. 5-4 force, and here is Rivera. Rivera hitting .318 for the home run and 9 runs batted in. He singled a left field in the 8th inning last night, but that was against Brad Lidge. And looking at Rivera working against Madsen, he is 0 for 2. Kemp at first, 1 out, 9th inning, 2-0 Philadelphia. 0-1 to Rivera. Ryan used to live in California, but he bought a house in New Jersey. Then he bought a small fishing boat. Became the proud father of twin boys, and life is good. 0-1. One ball and 1 strike. Basically, with Madsen, he has a full deck out there. A fastball, a slider, a changeup, pretty good sinker. He has a curve. And like just about every pitcher this day and age, He has a cutter. 1-1. And there goes Kemp on a foul ball. Mad with one out, with the idea of stealing second to take the double play away. You can see the B on the helmet. Dodgers wore the Brooklyn B in honor of Edwin Donald the Duke Snyder. It was his night. 40 members of his family were here. And you can still see the 4 cut out in the grass in shallow center field. 1-2. Rivera waiting. And now Ruiz wants to go out and talk to him. If nothing else, it'll give the hitter something to think about. I always wonder why they'll go into a crouch now after having a long conversation and give the signs out. And they don't bother. 2-2. 1 out in the ninth. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Phils. No runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers. Madsen made 17 pitches last night. There goes Kemp on a little ground ball to Utley. That's the second out. Kemp at second base, picking up his 30th stolen base. And with 2 out, Casey Blake will be the batter. Talking about Ryan Madsen making 17 pitches last night, that's nothing. Would you imagine that Ryan Madsen once made 105 pitches in relief? It was a 16-inning game at Shea Stadium 5 years ago. And Madsen came on in the 9th inning and gave up 1 run in 7 innings. But it was the winner. In the 16th, as Carlos Beltran hit a home run to win it for the Mets. So pitch count, he can write a book. So here's Blake. 2-0 Phillies. And ball 1. Casey and Madsen. Casey 2 for 8. He is lined out, singled, and flied to center. 1 for 3. In the dirt. Rod Barajas on deck. Madsen will be 31 the end of the month. Trying to close it out here. 2-0 to Casey Blake. All the way, 2-1. Dodgers have not had very many opportunities to have at-bats with runners in scoring position tonight. Last night, they were 2 for 13. Tonight, they are 1 for 5. Though Cliff Lee really shut them down. 2-1 to Blake. 2-2. So there he is, 6'6" on a 10-inch mound. You talk about elbows and kneecaps. And Blake trying to find the ball. Casey hitting .255. He has 4 home runs, 21 runs batted in. Two and 2. Ground ball, base hit. Here comes Kemp to score. It is 2-1 Philadelphia with Rod Barajas coming up. So So for Cliff Lee, there goes the shutout. Now he's got to keep his fingers crossed about the victory. By the way, for the Dodgers in this series, they have piled up 6 hits tonight to get 1 run, 13 hits last night to get 3 runs. So they've had 19 hits in the series, and they are all singles. And here's Barajas, struck out twice and walked. Ball 1. Crowd tonight seeing a dandy, 46,547. 46,547. They're up and at him, and James Loney is on deck. Barajas 2 for 5 with a home run against Madsen in the pad. Strike, 1-1. Casey Blake over at first base has 1 stolen base. He's been caught twice, and you certainly don't figure that he'll be running. Barajas 10 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Pulled foul, and boy, that thing was a blur. 1-2 to Rod. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Phillies. 1 run, 6 hits for the Dodgers. So near and yet so far for the Dodgers. And it is swung on and missed. Ruiz has to throw to first, and that's the ball game. So the Dodgers close but no cigar. Cliff Lee picks up his 12th win. Lost a shutout, but he'll take the victory. And the Phillies keep on rolling. They've now won 76 games. For the Dodgers, they have lost 63 games. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Phils. 1 run, 6 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. Madsen, for the second night in a row, makes 17 pitches. Tomorrow afternoon, remember, at 12:10, Vance Worley with a record of 8-1 against Chad Billingsley 10-9. A salute to Duke Snider tonight. It was a tough game, the kind he would have relished. Only Philadelphia beat the Dodgers 2-1. Talk to you tomorrow. Wishing you now good night, everybody.